you see here is basically a series of findings that Aon consistently have been doing every second year. Starting from 2007 onwards, they've got a global, listing of what the top 10 risks as industry players or as facilitators of industry have identified. If I have to plot VUCA subjects into this, and if I had to look at how this would have looked at starting 2007, this is how it would look like. Right now, where we are today, at least 6 or more of the top 10 risks of 2013 that Aon have identified directly, is a function of. But if I just pick up the risks by themselves, then I think we are in tough times, frankly speaking. And all of this, they've, kind of remarked that there's no industry or geography that's isolated with this, and that's very evident to all of us. And they're also becoming complex, which means that you can't predict, and that's very much what Mr. Desai also mentioned. You just can't predict using your models of what can happen. What I also wanted to kind of bring forth is something that we've picked up from this article. In Dr. Reddy's, we have embarked on this way of looking at risks, not because it's from HBR or Harvard Business Review, but because we found this very simple to understand and tackle, right? So if you look at all risks that organizations are facing today, you could primarily categorize them into 3 big groups. Preventable risks, which largely are internal to the organization. It could be operational risks, it could be safety, it could be product quality, it could be interruption. All of these are primarily believed to be internal to the organization and therefore controllable. And there's a way to respond to those kind of risks, primarily culture and control processes. The second, what they define as strategy risks, which basically mentions that behind this risk, there is possibly an opportunity. So any organization is consciously choosing to make that decision and getting into that risky, investment or product, for example. And as a result of that, you could either end up failing or you could end up succeeding with superior returns. And the third, and what I believe is something that is very, very close to today's discussion, is external risks. Very clearly, external means it's outside the control of the company, and very little directly can be done by the company in trying to address the likelihood, if not the severity, at least the likelihood. Basically, today's topic, VUCA, are, in my view, primarily triggered outside of the organization. They could impact your internal processes, but I think the source of the risk lies outside the organization, and that's how I would like to. I am also sharing a bit of what our company's experience has been on these aspects. So I've picked up 5 areas, they could be hundreds. Political sovereign risk, a big subject, especially for organizations who are outward bound, who have investments and interests outside of the country. You could have a lot of issues. Just to state a few, Venezuela, that's a place where Dr. Reddy's has business operations. We've had a situation about a year and a half, 2 years ago, where we couldn't bring our monies back home. And that was controlled by the government of Venezuela. Nationalization is something that every company who's investing in Venezuela will watch out for. And that's because you don't know when, the government can take over the assets that you invest. Ukraine, people who are following what's happening in Ukraine, just yesterday, I think as a country, they've decided to get bailed out with the help of Russia, but they've put themselves into a deep political crisis with the EU. And we just have to watch out for, we have interests there today as we speak. Currency, yes, US is something that we are very directly, US dollar is something that we're very directly interested in. We are very anxiously looking at the screens every Thursday and figuring out what's happening to the quantitative easing. We think there is hypothesis, but then that again keeps changing. So we really don't know how to handle this, with confidence. Russia ruble crisis, few years back. Venezuela Bolivar devaluation every 2 years, for example. And these are countries where obviously we are interested in. If you look at the marketplace changes, you have customer consolidations. So our ranks suddenly start improving, and then we realize that companies who are ahead of us are consolidating, and that's got nothing to do with us. Genericization of branded markets basically means that governments decide overnight that the medicines that you sell through your branded names no longer need to be sold that way, and therefore overnight you can have multiple players operating without any sense available to the consumers of which company it needs to come from. Uh, Pharma regulations, we did talk a lot about it. We talked about FDA in the morning as well. But here is things that are triggered outside. Russia, for example, preference to local manufacturing, or emerging markets all over the world aligning themselves to the regulated markets. And therefore, your choices of wanting to launch a product is directly determined by or impacted by those decisions. And of course, as the organization grows in size, you're looking at reputational issues. Some of this is like a Rai ka pahad, banana, and some of these are attempts to, take a dig at the organization, irrespective of, and that is press, and that is also on online and social media. So all of these are changes that have happened dramatically over the last at least few years. Each one of these items are a project for organizations such as ours, I'm sure. So if I have to kind of look at, okay, if we need to understand how to tackle these, I've listed out, say, four of these: currency volatility, for example, political sovereign risk, reputation media risk, and changing regulations overnight. There are a suite of strategies that companies have adopted. Some of these are what we as Dr. Reddy's are also doing or are planning to do. Starting from the biggest, which is stress testing or scenario planning. As Mr. Desai mentioned, there is no way that you can predict. But what you can do is that if things went wrong, then what would be your plan of action? And if things went wrong in a really bad way, then how do you want to plan your future course of action today? And that horizon need not be, the next quarter or the next year. It could be over the next 3 years. And if you're in a position to do this fairly well, you could be making intelligent investments or alternate strategies that will help you manage those.